Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried.
If we go back a few years, the Taramps HD3K was one of the first full-bridge 3,000 watt amps that really kind of shook up the market. Over the years, there's been several different versions based off of this amp. AudioPipe has one. Sound Digital has their own design, which, again, full bridge 3K, and there's several amps based off of the Sound Digital amp, which has been kind of copied in China and pasted into different brands made by build houses. But recently, SoundQubed has their 3K amp on sale. And actually, right around July 4th of 2022, they had it for $119 free shipping, which is insane. At the time of this video, it is still $159, but by the time you watch this, I have no idea what the price will be or even if the amp will be available. So let's see what's in the box. I know some of you probably wonder, why do I show unboxing an amplifier? Well, in a lot of cases, I really like to show you guys how well a company packs up an amplifier for shipping, because it does make a difference. You want it to get to you in one piece. In this case, SoundQubed packed this one up well. You can see the manual here that comes with the amp covers several different models. We'll get to the one that this is, the U1-3000, and we'll get to the ratings a little bit further along in the video. It does come with a remote bass knob. It is very cheap plastic, the same one that's come with some $50 amps I've tested before. And you get a couple of Allen's keys and some screws for mounting the amp. And here is the amp. Let's take a closer look. Take it out of the bag and check it out. SoundQubed is laser etched into the aluminum as well as the model number. Here on one side of the amp, you can see RCA input and output. There's one of each. There's also a high pass and a low pass crossover. The high pass can function as a subsonic filter. Low pass can help for your subwoofers or whatever other kind of speakers you want. This is a full range amp. Does go all the way up to 20 kilohertz. Also has a max and min adjustment for the gain. It does have a bass boost from 0 to 12 dB. We're not sure the frequency. It has a remote connection there for the remote bass knob, power, clip, and protect light. And then dual speaker outputs, even though this is a monoblock amplifier. Those are via 8-gauge connections. On the opposite side, we have dual 1-aught inputs with a remote connection there in the center. These are separated enough so you can use the dual inputs if you want. I will be using dual inputs for my test when I do the dyno test. Amp looks good overall, but out of all of these full bridge 3Ks, my favorite is probably the SoundStream, just because it has the plexi outside, lets you see the internals and all that stuff. As for dimensions here on the SoundQubed, 9 inches for the length, 8.8 inches for the width. That is including the terminals, which you will need a little bit more for the width, including the terminals and the wires. 2.6 inches on the height. For the ratings, 4 ohms, 1100 watts, 2 ohms, 2000, 1 ohm, 3000 watts, all at 14.4 volts. Now it's time to fire up this amplifier so we can do the amp dyno test. Before we do that, let's talk a little bit about what you're going to see. On the left side, you'll see the wattage. In the middle, you'll see the ohm load. On the right side, you'll see the voltage of the dyno. You'll also see the remote display for the clamp, which will show current, and we will give you efficiency based on the current pull. 4 ohms is rated 1100 watts at 14.4. Let's try this certified test first to 1% THD. 1215 watts at 14.85. Now, I already hear you saying, oh, 14.85 is too high. We'll just stick around here for a minute because I will show a lower voltage run after I show all of these runs and the efficiency. Uncertified, we're getting right at 1300 watts at 14.77. Let's try that dynamic pulse track. These are all run at 40 hertz. Very close to 1300, 1296 at 14.83. Efficiency, we measure right around 94%. Again, the efficiency here is estimated, so it may be a little bit lower, a little bit higher. Now let's turn down the voltage just a little bit, find out what it is closer to that 14.4 rating. So here we go, certified at 4 ohms, right at 14 volts, we still got 1178 watts. So it did its rated power even at less than 14.4. 2 ohms is rated 2000 watts. What can we get certified? 2050, 14.77. Again, voltage is just a little bit high, but as you know what we're going to do, we're going to show you after all these tests lower voltage, so you can't complain. Well, you still can, but better not to. 2329 at 14.65 for the uncertified test up to clipping. Dynamic test, let's send that pulse tone into the amp. Keeps accounting. 2254, 14.66 efficiency. Still good, 81.3%. Again, give me 3% either higher or lower based on how the clamp works with these tests. Now let's try lower voltage. Turn it down. See what we get here. 2 ohms, certified, 40 hertz, right around 14 volts, 2025 watts. Good job. Let's step up to the 1 ohm test, rated 3000 watts at 14.4 volts. Certified test, first to 1% THD. Yes, sir, 3338, 14.76. And as you can guess, based on the previous test, I will show a lower voltage run. So just hold on to your pants. Don't get all too excited. Uncertified up to clipping 3676, 14.58. Lithium bank holding strong for the win. We actually had to hook it up to the AGM bank to get the voltage down. That's what we did those last tests at. Dynamic 3892, so close to 4K, 14.83. What about the efficiency? Yes, it did drop some, 73%. All right, so let's turn the voltage back one more time. Let's run this test lower than 14 volts and see what we get certified at 1 ohm, 3061 watts at 13.94. Now I did want to disclose that the signal light was on the whole time during these tests, and that's unusual, but I have seen it before on full range amps. I'm not really sure what it's doing, but it is seeing some kind of a signal when there is no test being run. Results, here are all the results I just showed you. You can pause this if you want to see everything. Amp did rated power plus in every single test. Now let's hook it up to the quad box and see how it sounds. All right, we have the kickers wired up for the Bassotronics. Bass, I love you. Let's see how much power we get out of them. I did have the low pass filter set to 80 hertz on all these tests. You will notice you will hear some of the higher end frequencies. All right, let's pump the woofer test. Let's try just a little taste of the Big Wizzy Bass of Halloween song Bassotronics made. Now let's check and see what's inside. No, it is not a surprise. You probably have seen an amp that looks just like this before because there are several of these Chinese clone sound digital amplifiers and they all look the same on the inside. Here we go. 2 big old fat caps. You can see that. 2 big old fat transformers and some chokes and a lot of surface mount design pieces. 120 volt, 3300 microfarad for the filter caps, 25 volt, 4700 microfarad for the power supply filtering. And we got some chokes there. Again, some high power MOSFETs, and there you have it. Pros and cons, things I like and things I think that could be better, at least things to be aware of. Things I like, rated power plus, no doubt. Oversized 1.0 inputs. It does allow dual inputs if you want to use those. It has active cooling with a fan. Bass remote is included. Has a small footprint for a 3000 watt amp. incredible power per dollar, less than 4 cents a watt. This is the best budget amp as far as that goes I've ever tested. Some things to consider: upgrade electrical is required. Crossover slopes don't seem to be so good. Reliability, not sure. Non-Tiffany RCAs, very cheap bass remote. The last part I can't stress enough: 300 amps plus current required. You cannot use this with a stock electrical system. You need to upgrade electrical. Even though it is a cheap amp, you still have to have the upgrade electrical, or you will totally mess the amp up. You may mess up your electrical system in your car. Make sure you have it upgraded. Well, there you have it. As of today, this is the most bang per dollar you can get for an amplifier, 3000 watt amp. At the price I bought it, 120 bucks shipped. You might not find it for that price again, but it was rather cheap. It survived all the amp dyno tests. Sounded great with the subwoofers. There you go. You make your decision. Till next time, appreciate your support. Big D, I'm out of here. Big shout out to those who stick around for the end of the video, which I always show extra tests at the end credits. Today we're going to show the 8 ohm test and a 1.33 ohm. I did want to let you know to check the video description, because I will have a link to the other amps I've tested like this, the 3K full bridge amplifiers, either Tar Amps clones, Sound Digital clones, Tar Amps, or Sound Digital. So again, you can check all those, all the ones I've tested before, if you want to see more videos like this. Well, there you have it. Dynamically 675 at 8 ohms, certified at 1.33. Here it is, 2663. Thanks as always for watching. Check links below. Big D out.
You know how them sound waves go?
Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range.